So the iPhone 13 Pro has been released now for the past 8 months, and I can say in that period it has held up pretty well. The battery life is still solid, the cameras are still one of the best in the smartphone market, and of course it has iOS that is super easy to use and super easy to get used to. However, it isn't all sunshine and roses with the iPhone 13 Pro, so here are my top 5 best and top 5 worst things about the iPhone 13 Pro in 2022. Starting off with the best things about the iPhone 13 Pro, and the first is no surprise, and that is the battery. The battery life of the 2021 flagship still holds up pretty well 8 months later. Now, it is a 3095 mAh of battery, and it is definitely a smaller capacity than the newer flagships that are coming out this year. Now, when compared with those flagships, the iPhone 13 Pro came out a lot better, giving more standby time and screen on time than its competition. The optimization with iOS and the 13 Pro are like yin and yang. They complement themselves, and this translates into better battery life. Although the lack of a 120Hz refresh rate on third-party apps on the iPhone kind of aided the battery life to last a bit longer. However, Apple did update this, and even though with the updates, the battery life is still great when it comes to third-party apps. Now, here's hoping the iPhone 14 Pro kind of follows the battery trend of the older brother, which is the 13 Pro. Only time will tell. The second best thing about the iPhone 13 Pro is its design and the form factor. Now, when I mean design, I'm not talking about the notch that is on the front, even though the notch here is considerably smaller than the iPhone 12 and the 12 Pro. I'm talking about the little things that make this phone a lot better when you're holding it, especially without a case. Now, the back of the phone has frosted glass, protected with the popular ceramic shield. The sides have a boxy stainless steel frame, and that makes holding the phone naked a lot more satisfying and a lot more secure. The feeling of the frosted glass and stainless steel frame gives me a more secure feeling than most smartphones in the world. Comparing this to the S22 Ultra or the Pixel 6 Pro, those two smartphones are a bit more delicate when you're holding them. Unlike the iPhone 13 Pro that gives me a bit more grip and does not give me any hand fatigue, even though this phone comes in at 204 grams. Now, the third best thing about the iPhone 13 Pro is iOS. Now, hold on, my Android users or my Android subscribers, two things can be true. Android 12 can be great, and iOS 2 can be great. They both have something different which I love. But with iOS, I love its simplicity and my user experience with certain apps. From the position of the apps, settings, and other factors, it is also worth noting that a lot of developers prefer to launch their apps or updates through iOS first before Android. For example, Fortnite and the infamous Clubhouse. Apple's design team developed iOS to be very user-friendly for younger people and of course the older demographic. Now, there are a few drawbacks with iOS, but we'll get to that very soon. But overall, iOS is great, especially when you integrate it and communicate it with other Apple products. Now, this is a nice segue to the fourth best thing about having an iPhone 13 Pro, and that is the Apple ecosystem. Now, the Apple ecosystem is a major reason why a lot of iPhone users will not make the switch or transition to Android. Well, there's FaceTime and iMessage, I guess, but the Apple ecosystem is a major player and a major reason. The Apple ecosystem allows for seamless communication with all your Apple devices, from the iMac to the MacBook, the iPad, Apple Watch, AirPods Pro, and of course your iPhone. While AirDrop is great for sending documents to increase your productivity efficiently, the most underrated feature has to be the Do Not Disturb button. You press it here and it affects all your devices so you're not disturbed. I would have shown you guys universal control, but it's still in its beta phase and it doesn't work at all right now. It worked when it started, but it doesn't even work right now. So I'm just going to wait for Apple to work out all the bugs and all the kinks, and I will show you guys when it's ready. And finally, the fifth best thing about the iPhone 13 Pro are its cameras. Now, did you think I wasn't going to mention this? The iPhone 13 Pro has three 12-megapixel cameras on the back, and that is from the wide-angle lens, the telephoto lens, and of course, the ultra-wide lens. Now, the cameras are all-round consistent. They will give you great shots in great lighting conditions, and of course, during nighttime with its night mode. Now, the best thing for content creators like me is the video camera. The 13 Pro shoots in 4K 60, 30, and 24 FPS, giving all options to shoot videos, whether it be A-rolls or B-rolls. At this point in time, it is still the best video camera on a smartphone right now, and I highly recommend this if you're on a very tight budget, and if you do not want to invest a lot of money in cameras and lenses. As you can see, the iPhone 13 Pro is a great phone, all things considered, but there are a few things that I hate or dislike about the iPhone 13 Pro. The first is iOS having limited customizations. While I know iOS is great, there are a few things that irks me, and the simple most obvious one are the icons. Yes, I know you can customize them, but they do take a lot of work and effort. downloading images, wallpapers, zooming in and screenshotting and whatnot. With Apple's philosophy of being easy to use, I'm pretty sure there is an easier method or easier way of customizing your phone or even changing your overall theme of your phone without, watching YouTube videos and taking so much time to make your home screen feel like you. The second worst thing about having the iPhone 13 Pro is that lightning cable. Now, I have been preaching about this since say the iPhone 11 Pro, and some people may think I am nitpicking, but hear me out. Now, I have a lot of devices that are USB-C, from the MacBook Pro to the iPad Air 4, S22 Ultra, Pixel 6 Pro, and many others. Now, those require me to carry only one USB-C cable to charge all devices. So when I'm traveling or going out, I tend to forget the lightning cable because it's just a lot of cables I'm carrying in my bag. Now, it does look like it's never going to happen. I think Apple would rather create a portless phone that has MagSafe before making an iPhone that has a USB-C charger. But that remains to be seen. The third worst thing about the 13 Pro is Face ID. While Face ID has made great strides over the last couple of years, it doesn't exactly work all the time. It does get finicky sometimes because it doesn't recognize my face, or sometimes I'm needed to put in my code to unlock my phone. With the ongoing pandemic, they have made it easier to unlock your phone with your mask, but at the same time, it's also a hit or miss. But you know what would be better? Say it with me. Touch ID. Just bring it back, or give us an option to have Touch ID and Face ID at the same time. Now, comparing this, which I really don't like doing, but comparing this with other flagship devices like the S22 Ultra, for example, it gives us many options to unlock our phone. It's kind of baffling that Apple, with all its strength, money, research, and R&D, they still give you only about 2 ways to unlock your phone: Face ID and your PIN. I really hope with the iPhone 14 Pro or subsequent iPhones, they finally start giving us different options. The fourth and fifth worst thing about having the iPhone 13 Pro is the display when it comes to the brightness and of course the ugly notch. Starting with the brightness, the iPhone 13 Pro has a peak brightness of 1200 nits, and while that may be great indoors, outdoors it is difficult to see sometimes. Now, with summer that is incoming, the sun is going to be at its highest, making it difficult to look at your phone under direct sunlight. And finally, the notch. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody watching this video knew this was coming. The notch is old. It feels like it's 2017 all over again. Now, I kind of understand why Apple stayed with this design. Apart from them being arrogant and stubborn, they decided to stay with this design because it is a staple for them and it makes their phone stand out. However, it is 2022. I'm coming from the S22 Ultra and I'm coming from the Pixel 6 Pro, and using both those phones and coming back to the 13 Pro just makes it kind of look old. Fortunately for me, they are bringing out a new design with the iPhone 14 Pro, and that is the pill-shaped design, which looks absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to get my hands on the phone when it comes out. The iPhone 13 Pro is great, and I still easily will recommend this to anybody that wants to upgrade their phone to an iPhone 13 Pro, or they want to switch from an Android phone to an iPhone. But I will say though, if you want to buy this now, you might want to wait a little bit because the iPhone 14 Pro is out in a couple of months. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with my list or do you disagree? Comment below and let me know, because I'll be in the comments answering any questions and just generally talking to you guys. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and if you haven't subscribed by now, please, this would be a great time to do so, and don't forget to hit that like button if you like this video. My name is KJOS, and I will catch you guys in the next one where we talk all things tech.